Okay, guys, tough one today. Try to answer anything I can. Yeah, it's really tough to overcome. 3 of them on special teams, which, one of the things we particularly talked about is getting penalties on your return teams on the road. It's just a bad formula. You end up backed up. You get the crowd into it. Something you can't do. We got 3 of them. Yeah. We played well enough in areas to win today, but that certainly wasn't one of them.
Greg, you decided to start Kobe Asamo at right guard and shift left guard and shift J.D. Renzo. Just thought process behind the offensive line changes and how do you think they adapted to that?
You know what? It was right up until game time. We were just figuring out what's the best combination. We had not run the ball very well. We thought that there was opportunities to play multiple guys. So whether they started or they came in on certain situations, that wasn't important. We were going to try to get the best 5 on, and you do it at a lot of other positions. We just said, why can't we do it at that position?
Coach, can you just explain your thought process in the final drive of the first half? It seemed like you guys were content to run out the clock, and then you used some timeouts. You didn't use a timeout. Can you just explain what happened there?
Yeah, I can explain it. Tell me where the ball started.
In your own territory.
No, not in my own territory. On our what? What yard line? Deep in our own territory. If you've been around this game long enough and you know we're getting the ball back to start the second half, and it's a 1-score game, we can't let it become a 2-score game going into the half. So we run the ball on third down and Kyle gets a big run. So now we're in kind of the area, well, if we get it near midfield, then we go into what we call T2. We got close. Then at the end, we said, well, we'll take a shot into the wind. That was about the max. And we couldn't, once we had a penalty again, and we weren't going to mess around with it. The risk reward is always what you deal with. And I would do the end of that half exactly the way we did it, because we made sure that we weren't going to go make it a 2-score game. It's just not what you do, especially on the road.
Just with Gavin, how much do you feel like this was a step forward for him?
It was a big step forward. The biggest step is 0 turnovers, right? He read out every play. Not everyone was perfect, but he read it out, and that to me is the key. That takes great mental discipline and mental toughness to force yourself to read it out. He gave us a chance to win today.
Kyle set I think a Big Ten record for you guys, most rushing yards in a game. Just what allowed him to be so effective? And you guys, as you mentioned, struggled running the ball. How were you guys able to run the ball effectively today?
Well, I think the players, right? I think Kyle showed up in a big way. I think the offensive line, some of the combination changes. I thought Gus got in there in the second half. IB got banged up a little bit. Gus Zelinksis went in there, and he played well. We're going to keep playing as many guys as we believe can help us on the offensive line. And we got a great challenge next week because they're a very good run defense. But look, we're getting better. I know it's not fast enough. It's not fast enough for me either. It's very frustrating to go look at those kids. I pain for them because they're giving us everything they got, and to have that result. But we understand. I think they're a mature group. We keep talking to them about how we have to just keep doing what we do, and eventually, as long as you don't turn around, it's going to turn. And I believe that. I do. I think we're getting closer. Unfortunately, we haven't put it together in all 3 phases yet. And I thought maybe today would be that day, but we kind of, a side that wasn't really getting the job done, they got it done, and the side that was kind of didn't play up to their standard. And then in special teams, I don't think that we played up to our standard as well.
Just kind of hit on it a little bit, but your defense gave up a lot of yards today. What do you think led to that?
Well, I'm going to have to study the tape a little bit to give you the technical answer, but I know when I watch a game, I watch the beginning of the game as the head coach, and if the running back's falling forward at the beginning of the game more than he's falling backward, that's not a good thing, and I felt that way. I didn't feel like we were really getting after the line of scrimmage. And then some balls that got thrown into the secondary, I felt like we just weren't, and maybe I don't know, I have to look at everything. Because we didn't look as fast as we normally look. Maybe it's because we're playing on grass. I don't know. I've tried to, questioned that myself during the game. I said, we just don't look like ourselves back there. But look, we got to learn to put three phases together. I talked to you guys earlier in the year about complementary football. We really didn't do that. At times we did. I mean, we did some good things on third down. At the beginning we had given up, I think it was 3 third downs in a row or 2. Then the rest of the game, I think we gave up 2 third downs. So the guys, I mean, they battled. There's never any lack of fight. Our guys are incredible at that. It's just some of our knockback. And again, part of it also could be it's game 10 in the Big Ten, and people are hurting. That's a fact. Guys are playing in pain. So all that adds up. We got to figure out what to do, though, because in 6 days we got a huge challenge with Penn State.
The penalties have been a bit of an issue throughout the season. Special teams, even offensive line holding penalties. Is there something you could pinpoint? Is it coaching? Is it discipline on the players? What are the combination of factors that are leading to this becoming an issue?
It's all of the above. Yeah, I mean, when there's an issue of that magnitude, to say that it's not coaching or say it's not playing, I mean, it can't single-handedly be anything. I think one of the things is when we started this year, we said we're going to be, it was a young football team. So where youth really shows up, if you're young on O&D, then it really shows up in special teams. And we're trying to balance, if we have Mo Toure and we have Moses Walker and some of those guys that were injured before the season, then a lot of those guys that are playing on those special teams aren't playing. And, Dion Jennings is helping us on those teams, but now he's not because we have linebacker depth issues. So we've gotten a lot of young guys involved in it, but sometimes you get some mistakes. It goes with the territory. So we're getting better. I mean, all of these things will be something to build upon, but certainly hurts while you're building.
And you touched on a couple of the guys, but Ireland left banged up. I think Dion left after the first the drive. I know it's immediately after the game. Do you have any updates on those guys? How they're doing? Any major concerns there?
Yeah, I don't have updates. So did Renee Conga leave the game very early, which is a big, and look, I should say that up front, right? When you lose a guy like Dion in the first, whatever it was, quarter, and then you lose Conga, shit, is that going to have an effect on your defense? Sure it is. I mean, those guys have contributed a great deal. So, yeah, there was enough factors today that kept us from winning. And as all the time when you do that, is you got to look in the mirror. So it starts with me. There's some things that I wish we had done a little differently, not only in the game, but during the week of practice. You got to look at all those things. But we'll be back. This is all. There's some really good stuff. We'll watch that tape. There'll be some really good stuff. And when you put up whatever we put up, 460 yards of offense, we're getting better. We just got to keep moving the thing in that direction. And certainly our young quarterback played his best game, which that's all exciting because that's the position in this game. So just keep moving it forward. But thanks for coming out to cover us.